data to browse for free. Just dial star 550 hash to subscribe to MTN Free After One and stay connected because we are good together. Terms and conditions apply. MTN, everywhere you go.
Drive time on Joy with Lexis Bill.
And the Perfect Start promo from Access Bank is getting even more exciting. Over 400 children have been rewarded in the Quizzy Sunday Games and Access Got Talent competition. We want you and your kids to be part of the Perfect Start promo today and experience the entertaining and rewarding way to save. Be part of this exciting promo by depositing 200 Ghana cedis or more in your new or existing early savers account. And you and your kids can be on your way to winning a share of a whooping 100,000 Ghana cedis cash prize. Keep depositing more to build up to 2,000 points that will qualify you for the mega reward. There's more. Your kids can win for themselves that PS5 they've been asking for, or that bicycle you promised them, or that Samsung tablet they need for their online classes. And of course, cash prizes they can win into their early savers account when they participate in the weekly Quizzy Sunday and the monthly Access Got Talent competition. Savings just got exciting and rewarding with the Access Bank Perfect Start promo. Reloaded, of course. Be part of it today. Visit www.accessbankplc.com/early savers to get started, or you can call 0800 004400 toll free for more details. T's and C's apply. Access Bank, more than banking. And guess who's here? The Drive Doctor, Dr. Yaw Osafo, CEO of Medicas Hospital. Doc, how you doing?
Kwame, I'm good.
Really good to see
Very
you.
Good to be back.
You were missing in action. I hear you were under the weather. I don't know whether you got my prescription. Did they send you the medicine?
36 hours, I was back.
Within what?
36 hours, I was back. Thanks to you.
Thanks to me. Thank you.
Natasha.
All right.
Now I can certify that,
I was born to do this. Doc, I was born to do this. You know what I mean?
Now once I've tried it and it works,
Yeah.
I can recommend you to others.
So let me confess,
Uh-huh.
today somebody forcing me to buy.
Oh, really?
He asked me. Yeah. He asked me. I told him. He asked me what's coming up on drive time. I told him,
Okay.
you will be here at all. He said, what are you talking about? I said, Sammy, have you ever seen urine in your blood?
Hey.
I wanted to say, have you ever seen blood in your urine?
Your urine,
I
yes.
say, hey!
It's so easy to flip it.
So I want to find out, can I turn it around? Is there any way I can justify this thing I said? Can there ever be urine in the blood?
Oh, they're off air. And about will be that you're fainting.
No. Unfortunately, you see, I said it on air.
On air.
So all these come and see Joe in Joe Lu. Everybody did my top.
And they're quite probably a car, so
Wahala. Anyway, so we started a conversation a couple of weeks back about blood in your urine. I think you called it hematuria.
Hematuria.
Is that? I should have said hematuria.
No.
I should have just said hematuria.
He'll be begging for explanation. Then you tell him that you see, he should do some for you, and then he'll come for explanation.
Oh, I should have just said it. Then confuse him. Then he'll be like, "What is that?" And I'll be like, Come to the class." You know what I mean? Okay, hematuria. You explained what it is, the causes a little bit, the patterns of bloody urine as well.
Right.
And you actually mentioned that there are a few other instances that we need to consider. So today we continue the conversation. Thank you so much for coming.
Right. Good afternoon to all our listeners, and it's good to be here again. But Kwame, before we start, a birthday shout out to a very, very good friend, now like a brother to me, Julian Adumakujima. On that year.
Oh, he's on that year?
Oh, yes.
Oh, happy birthday, brother.
That year 96. Yes.
He's Julian. My favorite person on Drive Time is called Juliana.
Oh, okay.
So I'm surprised.
Oh,
Yeah. That's how I play Juliana.
Right. So today is his birthday, and I wish him God's blessings and good health.
Awesome.
Right. So Kwame, last week we started a conversation on hematuria, which is the presence of blood in the urine, and it is an abnormality. It doesn't matter whether it is a drop or not. We looked at the patterns of bleeding where you have terminal hematuria, where the blood is seen at the end of the urine stream, and then you have total hematuria where you have the whole urine stream being bloody. And then also you have what we call initial hematuria, where you have blood coming at the onset of the urine stream. And I did mention that all of these things will help your doctor point to a source of the bleeding and direct his or her investigations accordingly. So today we're going to continue because we did get a ton of messages, people asking questions. I gave a bird's eye view of the different causes, from medicines that sometimes we prescribe to medical conditions of the kidneys, the bladder, the prostate, and all of that. But today we're going to focus on two main issues if we have enough time, but two important conditions in which you might get or you may experience hematuria. So first one, the first one I want to talk about is urinary tract infection. Most people would have heard about this, a UTI.
UTI, I have heard about it.
Sometimes we confuse it with an STI, a sexually transmitted infection. So a UTI is not a sexually transmitted infection. And in terms of prognostic implications and then also therapy options, we want to be able to separate these things. So what's a UTI? A UTI simply is an infection or the presence of microorganisms in any part of the urinary tract, meaning where the urine is produced in the kidneys till it exits in the urethra. All right? So all that pathway, if we find microorganisms there, then we would say you have a UTI. So the normal urinary tract, the pathway from the kidneys all the way till the urine comes out, is supposed to be sterile. So it's a sterile area. We're not supposed to have microorganisms in there. So anytime you have infections in there, then we would say you have a urinary tract infection. A UTI is the most common bacterial infection in all age groups. So that's how common it is. There are about three main types. Talking about the anatomical location. You have something we call a urethritis, meaning you have an infection in the urethra.
Okay.
And so the simply meaning this time around the infection is in the kidneys. Okay. Why do you have that twinkle in your eye?
I don't know why ridiculous stuff just keep popping in my head. When you said the urethritis is the infection of the urethra, and you came to say cystitis, and you said the infection of the sister. It's not you. Just that substance just come into my head like that.
Did you eat today?
You don't want to know. It's okay. Move on, doc.
Right. So these are the three main types of UTI that one might experience. Most UTIs are acquired, or a few of them, are acquired by the presence of blood infection microorganisms in the blood. So you have circulating blood, then it's filtered in the kidneys, and then you develop an infection. But over 95% occurs when bacteria moves up from down into all the way to the kidneys. So for women, it can move up from, say, the vagina all the way up into the urethra, goes into the bladder, climbs up the ureters, and then ends up in the kidneys.
Hey.
So that's what we call an ascending infection. An ascending infection. Right, so the same thing for men. It can go from the urethra and then go all the way up. So overwhelmingly, that is how most UTIs occur. An ascending infection.
I'm coming on.
Hey, come and say.
No. Sebi. No, you see, calm down, doc. Relax. So wait.
Go.
So you said ascending.
Ascending infection.
So with women, it kind of like I can graphically see it ascending.
Right.
From wherever it is that you mentioned.
Yeah.
For men, it's more of the urinary tract, more like exits most part.
Right.
So how does it work?
I get where you're going. Very good question. This one is not a naughty one. This is a very good question. Okay. So this is where the anatomy comes in. There are differences between men and women, and it brings us to the discussion on the risk factors.
Okay.
So when we talk about an ascending infection, we've realized that the anatomy of the woman down there is different. So if you look at the relationship between the anus, the vagina, and then where the wee-wee comes out, the urethra, they're all in close proximity. So, for example, if a woman moves her bowel or uses the toilet, we teach them to wipe from front to back. If you do that, you are wiping away from the vagina. If you don't do that and you wipe from back to front, you tend to wipe into, and it is possible that some fecal matter may end up in the vagina, and then from the vagina it then moves into the urethra,
Okay.
and then you can have an infection. For men, and in answering your question, then Kwame, unfortunately, we are seeing some unusual sexual practices. So men having unprotected anal sex. Unprotected anal sex. It's how they will get their ascending infection, because as you rightly pointed out, it exits to the outside.
Yeah.
There's really nothing there. So if you create a certain media or there's contact from or the tip of the penis with a certain area where you have bacteria, and probably 60% of the volume of fecal matter is made of bacteria. So you got a lot of germs in fecal matter. So unprotected anal sex is not a great idea. Whether or not you're having it, it's a man to man or it's a man and a woman, it's never a great idea in respect of you getting an infection. So that's how a lot of the men get an ascending infection.
Okay.
But it can also happen if a man has penetrative vaginal sex in a vagina that is colonized by bacteria. So the woman doesn't wipe well, you get fecal matter in the vagina, and then you have sexual intercourse. Then it is possible for the man to also get an ascending infection.
Ah. Okay.
All right. So it doesn't become an STI, although sex is now a factor in its development. We will not ordinarily refer to it as an STI.
Okay.
Some of the risk factors are also abnormalities of the passageway. So you see that very early. So you see, why does a 1-year-old or a 6-month-old have a urine tract infection? Typically, it happens in male babies, and then they will tell, or male infants. And most of the time, you find out that they have some abnormalities of the urinary tract, which are what we call some birth defects.
Okay.
Also, sometimes the problem is us, healthcare professionals. When either when we are investigating patients, we carry out some invasive procedures. So, for example, when we want to catheterize the bladder, we pass a catheter. Most people know it as a rubber. I went to the hospital and then almost share me rubber. So sometimes we have to catheterize our patients. Either we're taking them to theater and we need to be able to measure the urine volumes, whether they are in the labor ward and we need to catheterize them, whether they have prostate enlargement and we have to catheterize them. So that process of introducing a foreign material in there introduces a risk of infection. So that's what I mean by invasive medical procedures.
Okay.
Some medical conditions like an enlarged prostate can also cause an obstruction to urine flow. Again, men with uncircumcised penises can also are at a higher risk of developing a UTI because the foreskin tends to trap a lot of debris, which acts as a focus for bacterial infection. So that is also a risk factor, and that's some of the medical reasons why we encourage circumcision.
Before you continue, if you have any questions about this, you can send us a WhatsApp message right now on 055-1111-997. We're live on our Facebook page as well. You can drop your questions on the live video, and I'm going to ask the doctor.
Right. Again, Kwame, generally, sexual intercourse plays a role. There was this study I came across where they compared nuns. They were looking at urine, presence of bacteria in urine samples acquired from nuns.
Okay.
And we all know generally it is accepted that nuns are not sexually active. And they compared it to a group of sexually active women. And they realized that there was almost zero incidence of a bacterial infection in the nun cohort.
Okay.
Compared to the sexually active women. So it tells you that sex plays an important role.
So the moral of the story is be a nun.
Oh, there be Kwame. Now, Omuni na yen answer. How will we survive? I know a dangerous advice. Kwame, let's retract.
We should retract that one, eh?
We should retract that.
Yeah, na ye bebele.
Yeah. Right. So, Kwame, what are some of the signs and symptoms that you have a UTI, for which reason you might find blood in your urine? So, the first thing is that you may have a urethral discharge. So, sometimes men will tell me that, oh, when they are moving their bowels and then they bed down a little bit, then you find this whitish discharge coming out. That's a sign. Pain on urination, frequency of urination, and it is small volumes at a time. You feel that you need to wee, but then when you go, it's just small quantities that come out. Urgency, and I explain urgency as the inability to hold urine when one gets the edge. So you get the edge, and then disaster strikes. Pain or discomfort, especially in your lower abdomen, right in the suprapubic area, may also be a sign. You may have flank pain, and I tell people that your kidneys, both of them, are located in your flank area, right and left. So if you're having recurrent or pain in the flank area, it may be a sign that you have developed some form of this. Specifically is a pyelonephritis, a kidney infection. Then you may also have a fever. You may have chills, as I did last week Wednesday, but I didn't have a urethritis. It turned out it was malaria.
Okay.
Right, and then nausea and vomiting.
Okay.
So these are very not entirely specific for urethritis, but generally, if you are experiencing these symptoms, it will be a good idea to talk to your doctor.
Okay. So I think one of the things that you mentioned, you mentioned the sexual component, you mentioned wiping, especially for the ladies, from front to back and all.
Yes.
Please, I have a question.
Hey, Kwame.
The bacteria, some did them off.
But Kwame, okay, why are you asking them? Because we are not.
You just
food.
answer.
We are not eating any food here.
Do you have bacteria in
them?
them?
Urethritis and urine and all of that.
Don't worry, it is.
Okay. So there's nothing there.
There's
there's bacteria in the mouth.
There's bacteria in the mouth.
A human bite is very dangerous.
Wow.
If somebody bites you right now, your hand may get swollen.
No.
If you are talking about human bites,
we don't use the teeth. I'm not talking about biting. Some of us are professionals. We don't bite. I'm just asking, is there bacteria in the mouth?
Are you talking about this week's topic or something? Like we want a new topic? Yeah, there's bacteria in the mouth.
Okay, there's bacteria in the mouth.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why you have to brush your teeth, frequently.
Before, okay, all right, sure.
Before and after. In the morning, you do it, and then after, when you're going to sleep, you don't do it.
Okay, all right, that's good. So
right.
you won't stop us from doing it, right? You won't say that one is bad.
It's a risk factor.
It's a hey. Well, 0302216541. You can call us, and if you have any question for the doctor, 0302216541. You can send us a WhatsApp message on 05511119997. Yeah,
Kwabi, I also want to mention that sometimes the use of spermicides. So as a family planning tool, some people use spermicides with diaphragms. And the spermicides may or have a tendency of changing the vaginal flora, the naturally existing organisms in the vagina, which creates a healthy environment for the vagina. So that's the same reason why we discourage women from douching. And the use of spermicides sometimes can also be a reason why the vagina is now colonized by different bacteria that can cause a UTI.
Okay, let's get on the phone line now. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, welcome, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Nana.
All right, Nana, go ahead. The doctor's listening.
I'm calling from Keta.
Okay, Nana, go ahead.
I'd like to know, you're using some euphemism. You're trying to make some co-ops to ask some questions, but I seem to understand. Is it healthy to do any moral sign of interaction between the genders?
Oh dear, Asama ye be son in a nice way. Eh?
What 20?
I just got a message. Somebody said, Lexis, my 5-year-old is asking me to explain what you're asking the doctor. We didn't want this 5-year-old to know. You call and come and ask. What is this?
The other someone was saying Ronaldo and Messi and all of that.
We are trying hard to do this. You come on. He said we are using euphemisms.
Tell him to call after the. Please call after the program.
But I think what he wants to know is whether there's a relationship between that and
yes,
UTI.
we think because again the mouth contains bacteria.
Yeah.
So during that act, then you can also introduce bacteria into the urethra. The whole sexual intercourse act also is a risk factor, and therefore we encourage women to wee immediately after sexual intercourse. And I remember when I told one of my patients this, it was like, hey, doctor, so doesn't mean that we have to be drinking water as we are doing. Oh, no, you drink water before, but just make sure that you're able to void. We hope that if you void immediately afterward, it's able to wash down some of the bacteria, reduce the load.
Okay. Let's see who's here. Hello.
Hello, Leslie, good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Jackson.
All right, Jackson, go ahead.
Yeah, listen, I have problem with you. Anytime the doctor can come to your program, after the program, you want him to mention his number. He mentioned the number quick, and we can take the number. So please, today I want him to take time and mention the number. Or if possible, you can put the number on your page, the Joy FM page. And the location of his hospital.
Okay.
He just mentioned it, and you can hear the actual this thing.
Jackson, you have a very legit concern. So we'll address that immediately. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry for what we've done. Doctor, please, very shortly, I'll let you mention the number because it's very, very important. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Kofi from Tema.
Kofi, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, how are you doing, Lexis?
I'm doing well, Kofi.
Just wanted to find out from doctor about hydrocele and varicocele. So I went to the hospital and I've just been told I have a hydrocele and varicocele. So I wanted to find out from doctor because it's just linked to what he's talking about. So
right. So I think. All right. So we mentioned this when we talked about the April was testicular cancer awareness month, and we mentioned that as part of the disorders that can give you a swelling in your scrotum, you can have a hydrocele, which is a collection of fluid around a layer that surrounds the testis.
Okay.
All right. There's this thin envelope that surrounds the testis, and sometimes it can collect fluid.
Okay.
All right. And then we will call that a hydrocele. It's a very benign condition, but it will give you scrotal enlargement, some discomfort if it becomes very heavy, a dragging pain, and it is easily corrected. And then a varicocele is more like varicose veins that forms in the scrotum.
Okay.
That's how simply I can explain it. Again, another benign condition, but it can lead to low sperm counts and all of that. So that may be a reason why we will have to have it addressed. But they are both benign conditions of the scrotum.
Good evening, Lexis. Please, my mom has water retention in her left fingers and both feet. Is it UTI?
Right. So we will talk about edema. That these are signs of edema. You know, when you have retention of fluid in your feet, your ankles, and then the lower parts of your legs, or as it climbs up, we will call it edema. We will not call it a UTI, but then we would have to investigate why she has the edema, because there's one kidney condition that may give you hematuria that is accompanied by edema. So we will want to investigate that. So she can talk to us after the show.
Derek in Texas says, Lexis, until Doc one talk say, make we stop Anubomski.
No, we see when we say risk factor, then that one we just leave it to you. It's a hazard. It can have potential complications.
Stop Anubomski. Stop checking engine oil. Stop playing piano. Yeah.
Euphemisms.
Drive time on Joy.
Okay, Doc, I know a lot of people are interested in this topic and they definitely need help.
Right.
Please
So,
take your time. Jackson, I beg, take pen and paper. He's about to mention the number.
If you have some children, they can pick their crayons. Or
Yeah,
something.
then write it down. Yeah.
Right. So yes, we would continue the conversation on our social media, platforms. But those who want to reach us, the phone number is 0501 477 340. I take that again. 0501 477 340.
And the location of Medicas Hospital, your hospital, and where they can find you.
Medina Firestone. We have a branch clinic at Medina Firestone, right behind the SG Bank. And then our HQ is in Juapong, Ekwapim. That's
Okay.
just about 25 minutes drive from Mensa toll booth.
Okay. All right. So there you go. You have the numbers. You can call now. Please just repeat it one more time.
Right. So the number is 0501 477 340. And Kwame, I need to mention that finding blood in your urine is a no-no. You should not have blood in your urine under any circumstances. And the causes are varied. And therefore, make an appointment with your doctor and let it be investigated.
Is there a few more that we can talk about, or we have to talk about? Because you mentioned that there are a few others.
Yes, there's also something we call nephritic syndrome.
Nedian?
Nephritic syndrome.
Hey.
And it's just that for this one, I just want to make a point about this. It is the nature of the urine that draws people's attention. There's something we call a smoky urine.
Hey.
It's like wusie, it's like you've got this smoky shade to the urine. And the moment you see that, most of them would have swollen feet and sometimes a swollen face, which appears suddenly. You wake up one morning and then your face looks swollen. Or the first person who meets you, is asking you why is your face swollen. And then your feet get swollen. And then you may find blood or your urine may appear smoky, as we call it. And it is a condition of the kidneys. It's a part of the kidney that has a problem, and you need to see a doctor immediately about.
We're out of time, but I need to take this message from Mike in Ho, who says, "Good afternoon. I'm really enjoying this program. It's very educating. You guys are doing a very good job for Mother Ghana." It says, "Doctor, my question is, after intimacy, I feel pains during urination, but not frequently. What could be the cause?"
Right. It's not a straight, especially if it is immediately afterwards. Then I would be thinking some degree of trauma to the urethra. I mean, because of the nature of
The activity.
of the activity. It could cause a bit of friction or trauma to the urethra, and therefore, when you void, water passes over it. There's a bruised area, and it stings a little bit.
So take your time.
Kwame, that one too, you can't see it too. When the spirit, like the way the politician, they can't control it and they say things, and when they go to Supreme Court, then they are saying that something took over them. This one too, sometimes when it catches you like that.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Right,
Dr.
you're
Yaw
welcome.
Osafo is CEO of Medicas Hospital.